Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bloodworth, and as you can see, today's episode is going to be a package opening of AD&D First Edition core books. Now, I originally intended to open up all three books once they had arrived, but I'll go to the next screen and you'll see what I'm talking about. There is some kind of a mystery of delivering things when you're dealing with, I guess, the U.S. Postal Service or just about anybody. So it is kind of an interesting, detail that I'll go through, and not so much a gripe, but still just pointing out to the ridiculousness of it. So I only received one book. I was expecting all three sometime between Friday and sometime earlier this week, but it looks like the other two books are not going to get here when I was kind of expecting. So let me show you what's going on. So let's just switch here. So, Player's Handbook. So I ordered all three books on the same date, so on June 7th. And as you can see, the Player's Handbook is the only book that has arrived so far. So looking at the journey of this book, you can see that on June 8th, it was the package was shipped to its distribution center from the purchaser, from the seller. Now the seller was Bye Bye Books, and I got the Player's Handbook for $13.37. Combined, all three books came out to like $68, including shipping and handling. So I'm really kind of, really happy with the cost of replacing them. That's probably, if you think about it, it's probably not much more than what they originally cost back in, the early 1980s. So I did get in some cases, the second printing of the covers. So they're all first edition, but they're not all first prints. So going back to following this along, so on at 10:15, you could see that it's in Virginia, it's in Virginia, it's in Virginia. That's on Monday, June 10th. By Monday, June 11th, it finds its way to Newark, New Jersey. Newark, New Jersey is about an hour and 20 minutes south of me. It goes to Newark. From Newark, it then ships to Newburgh, which is about 40 minutes to the west of me. And then Poughkeepsie, which is a very close town to me, probably the largest kind of quasi city close to me, and then it ships to me by June 12th. So from the 7th purchase time to the 12th delivery date. So that's the journey of this book here. Now, like I said, I wanted to wait for all three to get here, but here's my dungeon, the tale of my Dungeon Master's Guide. So the Dungeon Master's Guide I picked up for $21.78 from Cherry Creek Books. All right, these were all purchased as third-party purchases through Amazon. So it's also one of the reasons why I found fairly good copies and much cheaper than than I could find them on eBay. So once again, the journey of this book, and this is where it gets kind of weird. So it leaves Glendale Heights, Illinois. It's still in Glendale on the 11th. Remember, same book order time, the June 7th. Then it gets to Pennsylvania on the 12th. It's in Pennsylvania. Then it goes to, it's still in Pennsylvania on the 13th. It goes to Newark, New Jersey. That's where it should have gone to then Poughkeepsie and then to myself on June 13th on Thursday. Instead, they sent it to Albany on Thursday. Then no record of it on Friday at all or Saturday. It then goes from, it arrives from here, from Albany. No, it goes from Newark, I'm sorry. It goes from Newark to Albany, then Albany to Newark, and then Newark to Albany again. So this is where the delay came into. My package is going back and forth, back and forth. Now for the Monster Manual. The Monster Manual had shipped back on June 10th, and no other details since then. So who knows when this one's coming in. That actually makes me more concerned about this one because I know this one will eventually happen. The other one, I'm not quite sure. So, coming back here, I am now going to open up my package here. And then we'll take, I like this already. So, there's a pull tab, so that is much nicer than some others. Now, I have all of the first edition books on PDF, and I started thinking to myself, not having something, and I printed out all the PDFs as well, so it's not like I don't have a physical copy of it. It's just not the same thing not having it on my shelf, and that's what I really wanted to do. I want to have at least the core 3 books from every edition of Dungeons and Dragons on my shelf. And so, first edition, like I said, I was able to get it for about $68. Second edition, I know is going to run me about $40 to get all, or $30 to $40 to get all 3. I'm assuming that third edition will be a little bit cheaper. Fourth edition should be dirt cheap because it's probably the least popular D&D that's out there. And fifth edition I already have. So let's take a look at the quality of this book. So it's in a bubble pack, and so now I'm seeing this for the very first time, and we'll come and show you here. Let's see. Here's a desktop. So I'm pretty sure, and somebody will correct me if I'm mistaken, that this is the second printing cover. This is the one that I recall is the one that I actually had back in the time. So looking at it and looking at the, usually you look at the corners. The corners is, I'll let the camera get caught up a little bit if it will. But it looks pretty good. Yes. The book is actually looking pretty good shape. And like I said, this was $13.37. So not a bad purchase at all. And we're just going to go through and let's see. So 1978. Let's see what printing this is. Oh, this is the 6th printing. All right, so the 6th printing, so this is the January 1980 6th printing. All right, so I don't know where they changed the actual covers from the originals to this, but looking through, everything seems to be, the pages seem to be pretty tight. The binding, the interior binding is very good. I'm not seeing any marks or writing or anything on the inside of this. The pages are still pretty clear too. I mean, they're not really yellowed or anything. It's looking pretty cool. It's a tiny font. I mean, you can see compared to the newer books, and that's because this did have so much more information just packed into everything, but it is looking really solid. Fairly well-known picture. I believe all the interior art is Jeff Easley. All the covers by Jeff Easley. The illustrations are by David C. Sutherland III and D.A. Trampier. So this is I just love having the book. I mean, the interior art is awesome stuff. Words, 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 words. Packed, packed, packed with words. Love this picture. And once again, yeah, no interior writing at all. Very, very solid. I'll switch here. So, very solid. You can see, binding wise. Just a tiny bit of wear. Nothing major. And when that's on the shelf, I mean, that's the edge that will be showing out, making it clear that this is a first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Player's Handbook by Gary Gygax, and I'm just so stoked about getting it. I wish I had the other two here, and but when I do get the other two and I have all three together, then I will put them side by side and we'll go through the other two. Hopefully within the next couple of days, the other two arrive and I'll have my complete set. Now this was listed as good condition. So, I would actually say that this exceeds that good condition amount. So the key in buying used books is to really go into the details of what the seller puts in there as what they're considering good condition, because I would say that this is probably very good rather than good. And so when you're looking at those price structures and you're looking at those categories, really dig in and see what they're actually saying is, in their view, a good condition. So once again, thanks for joining in. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments that you want to leave about this book or any of the other books that you feel that I should absolutely have. I debated on whether or not to include Unearthed Arcana, which I really used a lot when I was playing, and I really liked the Monster Manual 2. I wasn't a huge fan of the Fiend Folio, but the Monster Manual 2, I liked the monsters that were in there as well. But for the purposes of a collector and just wanting those core books, I was really going to try to focus on just the, just the three core books. Dungeon Master's Guide, Player's Handbook, and the Monster Manual 1. And once I've completed that, then I'll go forward. So once again, thanks for joining. I hope you had a great weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, myself included. So I had a great Father's Day celebration, and nice Sunday brunch, and some nap time in the afternoon, because I'm not only a father, but I'm getting old, and a video and something that I wanted to do for some time. I've been sitting on this book now since like last Wednesday. It really did come very fast. So again, thanks for joining. I look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime very soon. You all have a good afternoon.